Welcome back to AES in New York City 2023. Today, or after lunch, we are joined by a very special guest from across the pond, James from Hawkwoods.
Absolutely. Pleasure to be here.
Thanks for being here with us. So very special. This is the first time Hawkwoods has come to AES.
That's very true.
And also for you, being in New York.
First time in New York.
Okay.
So it's been a wonderful couple of days enjoying the experience, enjoying the city. So bit of pleasure with the work.
Great. Awesome. Have you done anything that's very New Yorky or just?
Very touristy. So we went up the edge, we saw the views, we walked around, saw Central Park, we went down to the financial district, Chinatown. A lot of walking. I think we clocked up something like 30 kilometers in the last 2 days.
Okay, that's a lot. I hope you're wearing comfortable shoes.
Absolutely.
Good. All right, so most people are familiar with Hawkwoods because of the NP cups.
Correct.
You've got how many different versions of those do you have?
We have something close to 25 now. It's a vast range, but they're all modifications of the same thing. One thing we know very much about this industry, especially with audio equipment, is everyone likes a solution that's tailored to them because everyone has their own setup. And this range basically just incorporates some of the common themes that we get asked for. And we'll continue to keep developing.
Yeah, because there's how many outputs there are, flying leads, regulated, USB, there's a lot of switches or not switches, there's a lot of different stuff.
Absolutely.
So not many people are aware of your NP1 range, that this is a very special battery.
That's right. So this is our NP1, this is our NP98, so this is our 98 watt hour capacity battery. So this is special to Hawkwoods because this is where Hawkwoods began 32 years ago. Our very first battery developed was a cadmium NP1 style battery, and it's something we've always tried to make sure we continue supporting. So even 32 years down the line, NP1 batteries, now with lithium ion, now with lots of data as well, so you can communicate with the information. But as a style, as a battery, it hasn't evolved much because it still suits this particular industry, this particular type of equipment. And will be something we'll continue making for as long as people want them.
And so, but the D on this, what is that for? Because it's the 98D.
98D. So this is falling into a lot of development with lots of our cinematography batteries. So this is talking about SM bus communication. So when we're talking about communication with different bits of equipment, whether it be camera or audio, we find it's the best way to make sure we are communicating the exact amount of power that's left. So you've got a very, very clear amount of information telling you the runtime that's going to be left on your battery, which we know is important, very, very important.
So I'll go out on a limb and say this is the only NP smart battery out there. I haven't seen any other ones.
As far as I'm aware, absolutely.
So for our customers out there, if you were a fan of the NP1 form factor, but you wanted the flexibility of using a smart battery either with your Scorpio or with an audio root distro, you can still get the same data information back and forth using this battery. So that's pretty cool.
Absolutely.
All right, so other things that we talked about, I guess we'll go from small to big and then really big. So this, I noticed, I didn't know that you had L-series batteries that were this small.
Absolutely. So this is something, again, we get a lot of demand for. Again, because the range of applications for these types of batteries is quite large. And we know that the weight is actually one of the big things that people are very aware of. So this is why we try to make sure we have 3 very clear, distinct options for the capacity and weight. So you get the battery that's specific to the setup you're looking for, with that accommodates the capacity you require and the form factor as well.
Yeah.
So
a lot of people use something like this or would like something like this for their, again, 8 series, that has an L-series mount in the back. They want something small and thin. So when you do the power changeover, it's ready to go.
Exactly.
All right, so everything over here is 26 or 28 volts.
Correct.
So we talked about this as an application. Yamaha has a new mixer,
Correct.
the DM3, that can be DC powered, but it takes 24 volts.
Correct.
So conceivably, these things could do that.
100%. So as the industry is evolving, especially with cinematography, we notice that the volts that are being required has been increasing rapidly. So when we're talking about new cameras like the Alexa 35, they're now taking 26, 28 volts. This is something we've had to try and reflect and accommodate inside our battery range. So with such things like our mini RPs, you do get a clean 26 volt output, as well as B mounts. But perhaps our biggest seller has been our floor battery. This is the MXB 880. It's an 880 watt hour capacity, 8 kilos in weight. It has the capacity to output both 14 volts and 28 volts. Now, one of the things that's very good about Hawkers, and because we manufacture the entire product, is we're very, very good at doing customization of these products. So one of the things we've been talking about with regards to the new soundboard is 24 volts is actually probably a more appropriate voltage for it. That's great for us because we can easily modify the 28 volts, regulate it down to 24 volts, all within the same service. So with no extra additional price points, nothing on those lines, because that's the capability as a manufacturer we have.
And this specific battery, so looking at this as an option for portable sound carts, either that have the DM3 or don't, like this has AC backup, so it charges and outputs at the same time.
Correct. Absolutely.
And then you get 4 different outputs, 2 at 24 or 28 and 2 at 14.
Absolutely.
So you can run your cart, especially like a more portable bag cart, where you're going into a smaller distro and maybe need some flexibility. This could be
an option.
This could be an option, yeah.
And the other thing you could potentially do with it, and this is something we get more and more demand for, is you can actually daisy chain these together. So, for example, you could have an XLR 4-pin plugged into the power input, and you can now actually double, treble, quadruple the actual capacity of this battery. Whilst the amp output will be more or less consistent, because it'll only be running from the one battery, it means you have all the capacity you want, so long as you have the space to kind of plug them all in.
So is this... So you would come out of one of the 24 volt points into the AC plug?
Absolutely.
That's a first. That's pretty cool. I have not heard of that. So you could have a 1600 or 2400 amp hour battery that you're just moving things around.
It's very, very flexible.
That is really cool. What do you know the approximate price in USD for this bad boy?
So this is in pounds, £2,100 RRP. So in US dollars, that's going to be 2,300, 2,400 thereabouts. So yeah, it's our most popular product. It's something we've been selling a huge amount of. So yeah, I'm very excited that this is potentially a solution for the soundboard.
Very cool. Any plans for the future that you want to share with us? Something that you're looking forward to?
Yeah, absolutely. So again, because the MP1 has been something we've been developing for such a long time, and we've had this kind of special relationship with sound recordists, we want to make sure that over the next kind of year and a half, we are going to improve our audio range. So again, looking at our shoes, make sure they're up to date. We will have a new version of the battery, so we'll be looking at smart form, so very similar to things like the audio root battery. We'll be releasing next year, and of course accommodating all of our current shoe range to work with this battery as well. Now the other thing we're working very closely on is trying to develop a hot shoe, which is effectively the same shoe that you'd use for your power distribution, but would incorporate just a small amount of lithium batteries inside. So if you are taking the battery off, it'll give you maybe 60 seconds, 90 seconds, just to swap out the battery. So you don't have to carry around 3-4 different shoes to make sure your power is consistent. So yeah, we're really looking forward to seeing what customers say about it.
That's very cool. I did not mention this, but as we're live, we can take comments and questions. So I'm just going to check and see what we've got. Nothing right now. So how long are you in town for? You're coming to visit us on Friday.
We're going to see you on Friday. We're here today and tomorrow for the NAB show. And then we fly back Friday night.
Great. Okay. Wow.
A long flight home.
Yeah, I bet. It's faster going back,
it is,
right?
Yeah. So it takes us about 6 hours to fly back opposed to 8 hours the way here. So not too bad.
And question for me, what kind of food have you had since you've been here?
We've had an exorbitant amount of pizza. So we tried Joe's Pizza. We heard it was very, very popular. We've enjoyed a good few slices of that. We've enjoyed a lot of Italian food, actually. So gnocchis, pastas. And tonight, I believe we're going to go enjoy some sushi.
Oh, nice. Great. If you get the chance, artichoke pizza is also very special.
Artichoke pizza. Ooh.
Yeah, it's very, oh gosh, it's like eating an artichoke dip,
Yeah, yeah.
basically, on a pizza. So
Oh.
anyway, I'll take my promotional check now, please. Okay, James, thank you so much for joining us.
Pleasure.
It was a real pleasure.
Thank you,
We'll
Nick.
see you Friday.
See you Friday.
Thank you all so much for watching. We'll be right back with more content from AES NYC 2023.